Let's try this again. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to our couples Q&A.
Our qua.
Yes, our qua. We were going to post it earlier, but then
Things happened.
Things occurred. It was Valentine's Day. We were Valentine's-ing, and so now it is not Valentine's Day anymore, but we're still going to do this little couples Q&A situation. Also, I have some new merch available. Let me prop myself up here. So, O'Malley, I swear to God.
I got it. Tripod.
He's been really trying to take this video out. So this is one of the new little crop top thingies. The text is lavender color. It has some back action. Yeah. Ooh, wow. So that looks really cute. And then I'm gonna put this one on that I'm really excited about. It's rose gold, shiny
Crop top
sweatshirt. It has the back thing too. Let's see.
Put that on.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Oh, it's so cute. Link in the description, but for real. I'll put all my different merchy things down there, so that y'all can check it out. But this is so comfy too. It's all soft and fuzzy on the inside.
Ooh, it feels. Ooh.
It's nice. Cass has her bonfire swag on, so we're just
But yeah, anyway, let's jump into this qua.
Should I start from? God. Okay, these are really good questions. First one.
Oh, perfect.
Wow. Thank you. So, I've been in love with one of my best friends for a year and a half, and she's straight, but she's apparently not as straight as I originally thought. How the fuck do I get over her? I don't need this heartache anymore, LMAO. Well, as lesbians, we've had our fair share of experiences with straight girls, and it's always a disaster. I can't. Okay. So, straight girls, am I right? So, I've got my eyes on you. So, being in love with a straight girl is something that many of us can relate to in the lesbian community. And it's gonna happen to you, especially when you're young. And you just have to think about logically, where is that gonna go? Where could it possibly go? Oh, well, maybe if I pursue her for long enough,
literally, the best you're gonna get out of it is one semi-drunk night of passion and lust, and maybe it'll be the best sex you've ever had, maybe it'll be the most amazing night you've ever had, but you're never gonna get that consistently. It's never gonna be a reality for you.
They're straight.
And that's the best case scenario. That's 1% of the time.
Yeah.
That barely even happens.
You might get the kiss. I got the kiss once. I was in love with a straight girl in high school. I was so in love with this girl, and we kissed at my birthday party, and then she went on a date with a guy that she met at my birthday party 2 days later, because she likes guys, because she's not gay. So I don't know why I was so shocked and surprised, but logically think about how things would play out even in a best case scenario, and then be maybe I could spend my time pursuing gay women who actually like other women, and we can pursue an actual serious relationship in that way, rather than just chasing after something that's literally never going to happen. And it sounds harsh, but it's the reality of it. It's just not going to happen. Literally. So you just have to be I have fallen in love with the concept of this person that cannot exist in the real world, because in your fantasy you guys are together.
Yeah,
but you're never going to
be together.
She's just not gay. So
she's not gay.
Just
find
leave
some
her
gay girls
to do her straight girl thing, and you go find some gay girls to put your energy towards in a romantic way.
And it changes everything once you do that.
Yeah, for real. It's so much less work.
And it feels a lot better.
Yeah, for real. In that last one, I just want to add, really briefly, like, it said she's not as straight as I originally thought, which I don't really know what that means. Is she curious? Is she experimenting? Either way, if you're not sure and you're not on the same page, don't waste your time unless you want to have a sit-down dialogue and be like, hi, I'm attracted to you. How does that make you feel? Because if you're just going to sit here and be heartbroken over it, it's just not really going to do anything positive for you in the long run.
Yeah, and until she comes up to you and is like, hey, I like girls now, don't worry about that not as straight as I thought stuff. Just stop.
Yeah. So the next one, were there any people's reactions to finding out you two were together that pleasantly surprised you because you either weren't sure how they'd react or thought they'd react negatively, or how have you dealt with negative reactions? That one's pretty loaded. I feel like family.
So for me, like, it's really only been one person that, like, it was family, but it was my dad. When Chloe and I started dating, he did not know that, well, like, I hadn't come out to him yet, and, I introduced him to her. We, like, all had dinner together, because I was like, I'm visiting, my friend's with me, all this, and finally one night, I just couldn't hold it in anymore, and, I'm sorry, that didn't sound like a sentence. I couldn't keep it a secret anymore, and I was like, Dad, like, I was, like, crying and sobbing on the phone with him, and I was like, Dad, like, I'm gay, I'm a lesbian, I like girls, and Chloe's my girlfriend, and he starts crying, and he's just like, I know, I've known forever, and I knew Chloe was your girlfriend, like, when I met her. He's like, I knew, and I love you, and I just did not expect him to take it well, and it was, like, the exact opposite, and yeah, it was really awesome.
And for me, I think my biggest fear was coming out to my grandparents, specifically my grandma, not because I ever thought that she was homophobic or anything like that. I just, like, I don't know, I was just really, really scared, and I'm sorry, I have to hold you or you will ruin our video. I was just really scared to, like, come out because I just thought that it would, like, that she would be nervous or that she would be, like, really surprised and stressed out. She's a very worried person, and she cares about me a lot, and I think that my biggest fear wasn't her not accepting me, but more of just her, like, being concerned about me. So it kind of had to happen in a way that I didn't really anticipate, and it was just kind of like there was other stuff going on that was related to my relationship, and I couldn't explain it in any other context besides, like, me and Cassidy are dating each other, like, that's why this is like this right now. And she's the best. Like, she's just the best. I cried, like, a day ago because she sent me something really sweet. And
Lois is the
like,
bomb.
You know, so shout out Lois, as always, in every single video. But she really, I shouldn't have been worried about it at all. And it was just all, like, in here. But, yeah, I feel like mostly, like, the people in our lives that know that we're gay or that knew that we were, like, interested in dating girls in the first place weren't, like, unhappy or terribly surprised when we started dating. When we went on our first date, I was like, Mom, Dan, and that's my mom's boyfriend, I was like, I'm going on a date with a girl tonight, just so you know. And they were like, all right.
I just told everyone,
have
like,
fun.
Guys, I'm going on a date with the girl who is going to be my future girlfriend, so just to get that out of the way.
Yeah. And, like, my brother, like, has always, like, kind of known, and then when I went on a date with Cass, like, it was pretty solid, because before that, during my little side hoe adventure, he, like, overheard all of my Skype calls about it and was just fully aware of the whole situation. So everyone in that regard, and I really don't have a lot of friends, and at this point I'm only friends with other gay people, so that wasn't really a whole thing. So we've been lucky in that regard. There's some other layers, but as far as the immediate group, I think everyone's been pretty cool. All right. This next one just says, you should talk about the promise ring, what it means to you, or what you think the future will hold, marriage, kids, etc., with a little heart. So, I mean, I guess since I'm the one who, like, bought the ring, I should explain. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about promise rings a lot before, like, before I gave it to her and everything, and just, like, I don't know, the concept that we're committed to each other and that we intend on eventually getting married and starting a family someday, and that this is, like,
I did really aggressively try to get her to marry me one day, like on the fly.
Yeah.
Like, not gonna lie, like that is something that happened in our relationship. Like, I really did try to get her to marry me. Like, went to City Hall and I was like, just marry me like right now.
Yeah. So, definitely like after reeling that in a little bit and being like, okay, like we know we're like both in this, we have the same goals, we're like part of the same team. It just seemed like something like naturally that would make sense for us, and I think it's not any kind of like, I don't know, we're not straight people, so it's not an ownership thing or anything like that. It's more of just like a, like, I love you and I'm committed to you and I would like for you to be committed to me in the same way, and if we're on the same page, then like you can wear this ring to signify the fact that like eventually we're going to get engaged and then we're going to get married and we're going to have a million babies. No, we're going to adopt some kids.
At least 2.
I think 2 is a good number.
At least.
Okay, at least 2, possibly 2.5, but like 2 is a good number.
Good starting
I'd
point.
say. I mean, we have 2 sons right now, and they're a handful, meaning O'Malley. So human children will be a whole thing. But yeah, we definitely intend on a family.
Yeah.
Having a little family.
And I'd say that me taking the ring kind of, you know, the terms and conditions, like if this was an Apple app that I was downloading, and those were all her terms and conditions, I'd be checking the little box that said I agree when I put this on my finger. But I actually read it all, and I agree with it.
Yeah.
So I love you.
I love you.
And I've been meaning to get a promise ring for her as well, but I do currently have a tattoo on my body that's literally like for her and because of her, so I think that's like pretty close.
Fair. And like I don't know, I have like particular tastes. Like it was easier, I think, for me to pick out a ring for her.
Yeah, like we have to work together on getting hers.
Yeah,
we do.
So
it's gonna have to be a joint.
It's a collaboration, as any relationship should be.
Yes.
Okay. So the next one is kind of on the same token. I know you're not technically engaged yet, but what kind of ring do you want? Are you both going to get an engagement ring? Do you have any thoughts or plans regarding what your wedding will look like, season, where it happens, what you're wearing? I'm so excited for you guys with a rainbow of heart emojis and the really cute one with the bow at the end. So, let's see.
Both get engagement rings, yes.
Yes.
It's going to be just like the promise ring thing where I have a very simple engagement ring that she'll probably pick out for me, and we're going to work together to get out her engagement and then wedding ring. Am I correct?
I think that sounds about right. And I don't know, I have all these like saved bookmarked things. I'm eyeballing O'Malley right now if I'm looking off camera. But I have like styles and stuff that I like, but there's also like some jewelry in my family that might come into play, like my mom's engagement ring and stuff like that. Yeah, so
if you're watching, I got my eye on that ring.
There is a ring that exists, but the stone could be like reset. Like there's options there, and I'm not super like.
I'm gonna go for like the band for Chloe. It's gonna be kind of like a dragon claw holding like a gem thing. It's gonna be like at least like I'd say 3 or 4 inches like protruding off of your hand, where it's just holding this like fat ass diamond.
Yeah, and that's just like, that screams me, like that like encompasses like my whole vibe, so I'm really looking forward to that. And let's see, thoughts and plans regarding what our wedding will look like. Well, when we first started talking, I sent her a video of like an old singing video of mine where I was singing Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer.
Swing, swing, swing your spinning step. You wear those shoes and I will wear that dress. Oh, kiss me beneath the milky twilight. Lead me out on the moonlit floor. Lift your open hand, strike up the band and make the fireflies dance. Silver moon sparkling. So kiss me.
god, like I want that to be my wedding song. I can imagine you in a wedding dress. This was like 20 minutes in, so like lesbians, but
I'm a little romantic.
She's perhaps a bit romantic. So probably that song is gonna come into play because it just like has to. We've tossed around the idea of a beach wedding.
Let's go to the beach.
After my sister's wedding, I had some more like thoughts and things about how like the ceremony went. It was pretty concise. Like we don't really want to do a religious thing because neither of us are religious. So
sorry, man.
So yeah, we have like vague ideas, and like I know I'm probably gonna wear like some dramatic outfit regardless of the venue because that's just who I am and I can't like not. But I don't think I'm married to the idea of like wearing white. I don't think that I have to do that. So I think
it's gonna be great.
Yeah, and then what are we wearing? Well, you're gonna wear a nice suit.
I'm gonna wear a nice like hella fitted tux. I'm gonna be looking dope. Everyone's gonna be like, holy shit. I'm gonna be like, you know?
Yeah, and I'm gonna wear probably some kind of dress.
And I'm gonna be like.
And then if it's a beach wedding, the dress will eventually transition into a very sparkly bikini.
Right. Next question.
Okay. Honestly, I just love it if you talked about how important communication is, or I don't know, what sort of communication strategies you have. For example, I find it really hard to verbally articulate myself, especially when I'm upset. So writing down what I want to say helps me. Do you guys ever do anything like that?
Ew, communication. Gag me, choke me.
What's wrong with you?
I'm just kidding. I was joking.
Okay.
Communication is the most important thing of any relationship.
Yeah, and I definitely relate to this Anon who has trouble articulating when they're upset, because I really struggle with voicing discomfort or unhappiness in general, like not just in our relationship, but like in general situations.
Yeah.
And it's like a fear of like someone being upset that I'm upset, so I'm like, oh, it's not even worth it to like get into this, because like what if they're mad about the thing that I bring up, and then it just like ruins everything.
Everyone else's feelings always come before your own.
Right. So it's like prioritizing your own feelings and understanding that in the relationships that you have, whether they're platonic, familial, romantic, like it matters that you're comfortable and that you're saying the things that you need to say. So even if like you're scared about the outcome, the fact that you're scared about the outcome does say something, and if the person who you're talking to does react negatively to you sharing your thoughts and feelings and opinions, then that gives you something to think about. Because I think like we've had multiple conversations that were really hard where like
it's not easy to talk about the things that make you uncomfortable and things that you necessarily like not want to change about the person, but want to change in your relationship. And those are all just, it's difficult to talk about. And I'm sure a lot of you guys, like, I mean, we know most people have divorced parents. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw it with your parents. Like, you have the one parent complaining to you about everything that's wrong with their spouse, but yet it's never talked about, and people just go on and on with this resentment, and it bubbles up and it builds up, and that's just no way to live, especially when a lot of these things have very simple solutions. And if the other person is willing to work on it, then like you're gonna have those solutions, and you're gonna reach those goals, and you're gonna make it.
Yeah, like,
and be happy.
If you have to think about like what your goal is, and if your goal is to, you know, maintain a friendship or maintain a romantic relationship, then you should definitely try to talk about the things that are bothering you sooner rather than later, because if the person has an adverse reaction, that's an indicator to you that this relationship might not be something that's going to work out long term anyway. I have done the writing thing like my whole life. I used to write like emails to my mom. I think I asked via email if I could get a bra for the first time. Like I was like way too scared to bring it up, and it was so silly, but it was like send, went and hid in my room, and my mom's like, so you want a bra? Like, we're in the same house. And I still sometimes have to, like, write everything out in, like, a letter or in a note on my phone that I can read or have her read or something like that. Where,
yeah, and we've done that before, and it works.
And it's really helpful.
It works.
'Cause, like, I'm a really emotional person and I'm an emotional speaker, and when I talk about things that are, like, personally upsetting to me, sometimes, like, the crying gets in the way of the conversation. So if I can remove the crying portion and just convey my words, then I think that's a healthy and responsible way to communicate sometimes. But if you find that you, like, never can confront the person that you're with, or you can never have a serious conversation face to face, I think that's something to think about. But overall, I think just, like, trying to make the person that you're talking to feel as safe as possible, and having them allow you to feel safe as well, so that you can say what you need to say without thinking that something terrible is going to happen because of it. Yeah, exactly.
Say what you need to say.
Yeah.
Communication is very important. I'm sorry for all the gestures before. Just being silly.
So these next two are just about Ariana again. It's like every video, I think there's questions about Ariana. But
Ariana.
do you prefer Sweetener or Thank You Next as an album? Me.
It could. I feel like I like more songs on Thank You Next, possibly. But for Sweetener, the songs that I do like on there, I like more than I like some of the songs on Thank You Next. Like,
So
Sweetener
there's
has Get Well Soon. Like, Sweetener
Right.
has Get Well Soon,
Yeah.
and that is just such a big game changer for me. But then Thank You Next, I don't know. Whatever.
It's a hard one because this has all happened so fast.
Yeah.
Like, I've been...
Give me a few months.
I've been a fan since I was 12 years old, and she didn't have any songs besides Stick Around, and then later came out with Put Your Hearts Up, and that was, like, the only, like, Ariana Grande content that I had, and then I was waiting, like, years between albums at some points, like, so it's just very wild to me
6
that
months.
in 6 months I have these 2 full-length albums from this artist that I really love, and there was, like, a ton of meaning. I think, I feel like my expectation of Sweetener compared to what we got as far as the content might affect my answer, just because Sweetener was pitched in the way that I think Thank You Next kind of came out. Like, Sweetener was hyped up as being, like, the most emotional album and the most, like, in-depth about, like, her mental health and her, like, just general, like, relationships and stuff like that. And then we got, like, bits and pieces, and then we got some, like, really powerful stuff, like, in Get Well Soon. I think that, like, said a lot about her personal feelings and whatever. But I think on Thank You Next, there was just, like, so much inside of most of the songs.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just really hard. Like, they're all so close together. Like, it's blending together in my brain because I'm like, it's all...
They feel like it's hard to kind of differentiate.
Like, it all just came out. Like, it's still...
Whatever.
fresh.
Like, yeah, give us a few months. Give us a few months on
Yeah,
that
give
one.
me a
What was
second.
what was the other part of that question?
And then the next one is, do you hate The Light Is Coming or the Ring song more?
Oh, that's so hard as well.
Okay. These next questions are getting a little spicy, so children click away. My good friend Marty, thanks Marty for sending in this one.
Hey, what's up, Marty?
Said, would you ever consider wearing the strap?
She's worn it.
I wore it once and took some really funny Snapchats that some very lucky people got to see, and I also I posted a GIF on my Tumblr before it got, like, flagged, because my first instinct was to just, like, hit it as hard as I could, like, just slap it, but I can't take myself seriously in that position, and I removed it short after. So.
Also, I don't like getting strapped.
Yeah, so it wouldn't really be a thing that would, like, come into play in the bedroom for us necessarily.
Yeah.
I tried and repeatedly failed to think of an actual question to associate with this, but lingerie. Maybe talk about the benefits or something. So this is a very vague question, loving it though.
From a butcher's perspective, lingerie benefits. Yeah, just drool.
Is that like the drool emoji? Just like
just you could like sometimes you feel like ladies, when you see your lady all dressed up in lingerie and you just like, you know, either she takes her clothes off or you walk in and she's just there, like that moment, that you know that moment is just dying and like it, yeah, you know. So I'd say benefits from my end, very good.
Benefits, good. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of lingerie, like probably for longer than I should have been, but I just find it to be a really fun and lovely time. My favorite outfits usually don't include like pants and things, so I am a big fan of like getting dressed up and all that. So I enjoy like the presentation. I like feeling appreciated and all that stuff. Women appreciate lingerie so much more than men ever could. And I have so many like horror stories of when I went really out of my way with like garter belt, like the stockings, just all of this different stuff and just no reaction or just like it's just immediate like ugh. I do think that like in lesbian relationships, especially like butch femme relationships like ours, it can be like a very, I don't know, it just adds a level of like appreciation and like obviously like it's hot, so
like
that's
there's
cool
a moment
too.
There's literally just a moment where like you feel like you're touching like a goddess, like you're just like, is this even like, is this happening right now, like am I doing this, you know, before the lingerie comes off. But there's like that moment where you're just like, I've been blessed.
Aww, I love that. Yeah, so lingerie is like, it's pretty, it's all right. Okay, so these next ones are from, because I posted on my blog and on my Instagram to send questions for a Valentine's Day Q&A because initially that's what it was going to be. So, pardon me. So this is from Valentine's Day when I asked, and someone said, "Are you get rallied yet?" And then the next one says, "Has Cass cowgirled up and mounted you?" So, yes.
Yes.
So the next question is, how many orgasms is too many?
No many.
Yeah, I haven't yet come to a point. Nice pun. I haven't yet discovered a number that is too many.
Yeah, there's nothing unsuitable.
So, science and time will tell.
Yeah.
But so far, I haven't reached that. And then the last one is completely unrelated to sex. So, put your pants back on, everybody. Do you think it's okay to watch... And they censored out the name, but I don't really know how to do that. Maybe I'll do it in editing. Completely critically, and other controversial YouTubers. I have zero need to defend them. I just like being up to date when ugliness drops. I like to have a fun time, and sometimes people make fun content that aren't necessarily the best people in whatever light you're trying to look at them in. And I think that if you yourself are acknowledging that you're a critical consumer of media, then I don't see why anyone should be disallowed from watching content. Like, it's kind of there to be watched, and
it's also there to be criticized. Like,
yeah, it's there to be criticized. It's out on a public platform, and I think that there is a line, but watching like a problematic YouTuber because you think some of their content is interesting or because you're a whore for drama and that's just what you like to do, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't think, do you think it's okay? I think it's okay. Okie dokie. So, one of the first questions is from a friend of mine, and it just says, "Can I come to your wedding?" Yes. Next question, also from a friend. What is the best Valentine's Day food and why? I don't really know if there are Valentine's Day foods, but I think something that people like to eat on that day is...
Chili cheese fries.
I was going to say chocolate-covered strawberries. Why do you always get flagged so much on Tumblr? Staff truly hates thriving lesbians. Yeah, so I don't know why my blog keeps getting flagged as explicit. I don't post pornography or whatever. So
you don't even post nude photos.
I don't post nude photos. I don't even post like pictures in my bra anymore because I'm scared. Like,
sorry.
It's okay. I just don't know if people want to see toes or if you can see them.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
But follow my flagged Tumblr, chloë niccole at tumblr.com or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there were only 3 from Instagram. I don't have a lot of engagement on my Instagram, as you can tell. Okay. And then do we do an outro?